and welcome to our Q&A for Clean Good Eats. Today, my name is Sakina B, and I welcome you here. I just want to talk to you today about sugar. Now, of course, sugar is many of our vices, right? So we love ice cream, we love pretty much food, and any food that you find in the United States for the most part, it's going to have some sort of sugar in it. So let's talk about the benefits of sugar. Sweet. It makes things taste so much better. It's a comfort food, right? But I had people ask me, what are some great alternatives to sugar? Let me see some of the questions I got. What are some great alternatives to sugar? How can I get my child to stop eating so much sugar? Is sugar really bad for you? Well, in a nutshell, my answer to that is, do you think cocaine is bad for you? Because sugar actually does more to the dysfunction of the brain than cocaine does. So, and you can actually look that up. There are plenty of tests to prove that, but yet we ban cocaine and not sugar. Now, I'm not saying that we ban all sugar in all forms, okay? Because I believe God made sugar and sugar is amazing, but in its proper form. So the amount of sugar that you should have per day is 25 grams. No more than that, okay? That's a lot of sugar when you actually think about it. But 25 grams of sugar actually equates to about 6 teaspoons per day. So to give you kind of an example of what I'm talking about, Chobani, see that? Chobani. Now, I'm not knocking Chobani. Chobani actually tastes pretty good from what I hear. I've never tasted it. Today will probably be my first time tasting it. But it is a low-fat Greek yogurt. I will caution you on anything that says it's low-fat, okay? Because generally when something is low-fat, they have to replace the flavor with something. Fat is what holds the flavor. So they have to replace the flavor with something. And generally it's sugar. So if you look at Chobani's label, it says that this has 130 calories, right? 25 of those calories come from fat. Okay, not that big of a deal, I guess. So that leaves you with 105 calories left. Then it says that there are 12 grams of sugar. So if you're allotted 25 grams of sugar for the day, this is about half of what you're allotted for the day. Look how tiny this is. That's tiny, right? So you're looking at 3 teaspoons of sugar in this tiny little container. Now, if you were to eat, say, a Starbucks blueberry scones, and that was your breakfast, you had your yogurt, you had your scones, and you're thinking blueberry scones, Chobani yogurt, Greek yogurt at that, and it's low fat, I'm doing good, right? Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of facts on the blueberry scones. So, blueberry scones is 100 grams, not real big. 380 calories. 150 of those calories come from fat. Okay, that's where you kind of get your flavor from, right? But it has 22 grams of sugar, which is the equivalent of 5.5 teaspoons. That's like your whole sugar for the day, okay? So that means 88 of those calories are coming from sugar. So you got 88 in that. You got 3 teaspoons in here. You are looking at sugar overload. And so you can understand why the diabetes epidemic is so huge, because everything that we eat contains sugar. And those are just 2 items that I'm talking about. You would be amazed at where you would find sugar. I mean, you're going to find it in your condiments. You're going to find it in cereal, in sauces, obviously fast food, right? But even places that you might not think that you would find sugar, which would be like pasta, juices, even 100% juice, sugar, okay? Canned goods, sugar, milk, sugar, energy drinks. Let me not even get started on the energy drinks. I'm talking sugar, 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 sugar. It's amazing that we are still breathing sugar, okay? So let's talk about some, okay, we talked about the not so nice side of sugar. Diabetes is one issue that we're combating, right? But let's think of all the other issues that don't really come to light until we have conversations like this, right? So we have tooth decay. Oh my goodness. I was talking with my dentist, and we were talking about how so many cavities are being found in kids younger and younger and younger. I remember seeing like silver teeth in kids, like kids that weren't even 5 years old yet. And it's like, oh my goodness, we have gotten so out of control. And don't even let me get started about the church camps or youth groups, or everything is just candy, candy, candy. We go to the doctor's office, they give you candy. I mean, like candy everywhere, right? Sugar everywhere. Sorry, I'm a little passionate about this. Now, we're talking obesity, heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, cognitive disorders. We're wondering why a kid can't sit in a chair. You can't sit in a chair because their brain is all full of sugar. All right, so I'm not even going to talk about the high blood pressure, but here's something that you might not have thought of, right? You know how we think of liver issues being because, someone's an alcoholic, they've got liver issues. But you're finding them more and more now in young kids, liver issues. Non-alcoholic, fatty liver. Our liver is the powerhouse. It is the filter of everything that comes through our body. And our liver filters out that sugar, turns it to fat when it's not being used, because sugar is a carbohydrate. Carbohydrates give us energy. When we don't release that energy, or we just have a sedentary lifestyle, that sugar converts to fat. And so not only do you see more obese people, but now you're dealing with the internal organs being severely affected by choices that we're making. And it's not that we have to give up sugar, because I, for one, love sweet food. Absolutely love sweet food. I'm sorry, I can see myself on camera and I'm just like, oh my goodness, my flour is being hidden. I don't know if y'all like my flour or not, but I absolutely love my flour. It makes me happy during the day. So there you go. There's my flour. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. What was I talking about? See, there we go with the sugar. So not only, is sugar in everything, but I know for one, I love sugar. I love sweet food. I'm not necessarily one for pastries, but I love sweet food. So with that being said, I like to find alternatives rather than putting sugar in my sauces or sugar on my desserts, or just sugar, 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 sugar. Right. So here are some healthy alternatives. We have juice, applesauce, dates. Dates and cranberries are my favorite to sweeten food. Dates are amazing because they not only are very, 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 very sweet. It's like dates and raspberries to me are God's candy, right? You can throw some cherries in there too. And I'm like, oh my goodness, just, I don't want to say a hog and slop, but that kind of happy. Okay. But dates also have fiber. And fiber is what helps to push all the junk out of our body, keep us moving regularly. So you want to have a high fiber diet to help you combat any of those sugars that you're bringing in. Now, don't get me wrong. Date is still a sugar. So, if you're diabetic, trust me, you're going to feel it with some dates. But if your choice is processed sugar, or any of these other names that it goes by, like cane sugar, I don't know if you ever heard of that, beet juice, corn syrup, rice syrup, high fructose corn syrup, anything that ends in ose, anything that ends in ose is a sugar. Just know that. Agave. I know they try to package it up and say it's so healthy and so good for you, because it's processed. It's just dressed up sugar. All right, so let's talk about, we already talked about foods that have added sugar, right? So we talked about just a little bit of some of the sugar substitutes. Raw honey. Notice I said raw honey, not processed honey, okay? Because you're looking to get it in its most natural form, because when you get it when it's in its most natural form, that's when you get all of the other goodness that comes with it. So raw honey is actually very good for your allergies. Yes, especially if it's local. Local raw honey is amazing for your allergies because it takes in all of the pollen, all of the other stuff that's in the area to help you build up your immune system. So if you're going to use a sweetener and you've got allergies, local raw honey is the best. And when I say local, I mean try to get it as close to where you live as possible. If you can get it in your county, bam, that's good. Coconut sugar is not a bad alternative either because it's coming straight from the coconut. And stevia. Now, many people tout stevia as being low in its glycemic index, meaning if you're diabetic, that it's not going to raise your blood sugar very much. Or even if you're not diabetic, it's not going to raise your blood sugar very much, which is good. That's a good thing. And I hear that it's all natural. The jury is still out on for me on stevia because I don't know. You know how you just feel that something ain't just quite right about that? So I will get back to you on my information with stevia. All right, so some great alternatives to breakfast foods that you may eat, because you know breakfast, you're gonna have it in your bacon, you're gonna have it in your cereal, you're gonna have it in your cute little oatmeal packets. I know when I was a kid, I love the oatmeal packets. I'm like, oh yeah, my mama made me some oatmeal, yeah, brown sugar, cinnamon, and spice. And I looked at that when I was preparing it for my kids, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the sugar content is off the wall. It's like maybe they just put a few oats in there with the sugar, because that's what it seemed like. But there are other alternatives for breakfast. So we have fruit, granola. You can make your own granola. And when I tell you it is so cheap and easy to make your own granola, you're going to be like, why didn't I do this before? So if you're budget conscious and your kids like granola or they like cereal, make your own granola, put some real fruit in it, put some milk. Now, milk will have some sugar in it too. Okay, so you want to be careful of that. You can get, like, this is the milk that we use. I use almond milk. And what I like about it is the sugar content. It does have 7 grams of sugar, but that's for a whole cup. And generally, we don't drink a lot of milk and we don't take a whole cup at a time. So there you go. All right, so there. Steel cut oats. If you like oatmeal, steel cut oats are a great alternative to those cute little packets. And you can even get quick cooking steel cut oats for those who are just on the go all the time like me. Quick cut oats are great. Steel cut oats are great and they're quick. Okay. Smoothies. My kids love smoothies for breakfast. You know, my husband and I, we were doing this smoothie cleanse together. And my kids got so upset because we didn't make them smoothies too. I'm like, but I just made you like a whole breakfast. No, we want the smoothies. So smoothies are great. And you can put any type of fruit in it, veggies in it. You can add some fiber with flaxseed in there. You can put chia seed. I mean, you can get as creative as you want to get with these smoothies. Now, if you have this sugar addiction, okay, how do you get over it? Great question. Because sugar addiction, the symptoms of withdrawal are like coming off of an opioid. Seriously, you're going to get your headaches. You're going to get chills. You're going to get bloating, nausea. I mean, the diarrhea, fatigue. You're really going to feel like, oh my goodness, what in the world just happened to me? I can't do this. You can. Once you get past day 3, that's the key. You're getting past day 3. Once you get past day 3, it's not that bad because your body starts to become used to it. And then you start to put in the good sugars that actually have fiber with them, like apples. So if you're a diabetic, and I keep stressing diabetic, but this really is for anyone, okay? Apples are great because they're sweet, but when you eat the skin is full of fiber. And that fiber is what helps to flush the sugar that your body is not using out, okay? Now, it also helps to exercise to use up the sugar, but it does help in filtering it out. Let's see. What are some other great ones to use? I know cherries, berries. Any dark berry is great to eat because they are high in antioxidants, which means they're cancer fighters, and they are low on the glycemic index, which means they're not going to raise your blood. They're not going to raise your blood sugar, but so much. Now, good fiber sources. Like I said, if you're going to have sugar, you want to have some fiber with it. So I said dates that works on the sugar and the fiber. So it takes care of both. But then there are avocados, Asian pears. If y'all haven't had an Asian pear, oh my goodness, they are so good. Okay. Also, Japanese sweet potatoes are out of this world. To me, I could just eat that as a dessert because it's so sweet. But when you eat the skin, the fiber is in the skin. Figs, peas, okra. My family likes okra. Not my immediate family because I don't cook it, but my extended family, they like okra. And I'm like, ooh, it's just slimy to me. I don't care how you make it, fry it up, whatever you want to do. Ooh, I just can't do okra. But for those of you who can, God bless you. God bless you because okra is good. Fiber. Brussels sprouts, chickpeas, quinoa, lentils, black beans, and turnips. Those are great fiber sources. Trying to kick a sugar addiction. If you don't have to do it by yourself, don't do it. Do it with a friend. That's always helpful because accountability will keep you on track. But also, you want to up your protein intake. Okay, so beans. If you're vegan or vegetarian, beans are a great source of protein. Many dark green leafy vegetables are a great source of protein. You know, your peas, quinoa will have some protein in it as well. Meat, if you are not on a specialty diet, or if you're paleo, something like that. Healthy fats. So your avocados have healthy fats. Your coconuts have healthy fats. When we are not using the almond, and nuts have healthy fats as well, but we use coconut. Now, this is a great milk to use. It's unsweetened, so that's good. So you're not going to get much in the way of sugar there. But I like it because it is naturally sweet. So you get your sweet, get your fat. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There you go. All right. And you want to up your sour food or your fermented food intake. So sauerkraut. If you like sauerkraut, eat sauerkraut. I love sauerkraut. I actually have a recipe where I make my own sauerkraut. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a YouTube live on how to make sauerkraut one day, or we'll see. But sauerkraut is great. Kombucha. We have kombucha in this house. In fact, I think I have one just sitting right here. Yep. Oh, I'm knocking stuff over. So kombucha is really good to have as a probiotic. Probiotics, what they do is they help you to build up your good bacteria in your intestines to fight off a lot of diseases and keep you regular. And then find a healthy sugar alternative, whether it be a natural food, which I really always say that if I'm going to eat something, I'd rather it be something that I already eat, that, you know, I would naturally eat, as opposed to an artificial sweetener. Okay. All right. So I think I've covered all of those bases. I tend to keep notes for myself because I can go up on a tangent. Y'all will appreciate that I do keep notes for myself. All right. I think I took care of everything. Oh, Dr. Axe. So I really like Dr. Axe because he has some really good information, and he has how to go about kicking your sugar addiction in 4 weeks. Okay, so he says to replace your sugar with stevia, or another healthy alternative. Eliminate processed beverages, so your sodas, your juices. A lot of times we'll give our kids juice because we're like, oh my goodness, they need to get their fruit intake in. We'll just give them some juice. You might as well just give them the orange instead of giving them the orange juice, because it is actually healthier for them. The orange itself will have many more nutrients in it than just the juice. The juice tends to strip them of all of the nutrients that the orange actually has, other than what's in the actual juice. If you can prepare the juice at home yourself, that's great. In fact, what we do is I'll make the juice here, and then all of the little tidbits that, you know, the skin or whatever else that's left, I'll grind that up and turn it into an ice cream. Repurpose. Don't waste anything. All right, swap candy and sweets for fruit, protein, and high fiber foods. One of my favorite desserts, or just a snack in general, cashews and cranberries. Cashews have a good, healthy fat to them, the protein, and then the cranberries give me that sugar boost that I like. And then on week 4, trade processed and ready-made meals. So when I say ready-made meals, I mean like when you go to the freezer section, it's already made, got your little hot pocket or whatever it is. You can, I'm talking to the choir here because I used to do the same thing too. Convenience, convenience, convenience. We are trading in our health for convenience. So I just shared that with you so that you know there is an alternative. You can use fruit, veggies, and whole grains or gluten-free grains that will boost up your satiation. Satiation, is that a word? Satiate. I know satiate's a word. You know what I'm trying to say. Okay, so now I want to share with you a recipe that I use. And we're going to make, I call it ice cream. It's not really ice cream. It has the texture of ice cream, and it tastes very good, very sweet. So our basis is we're going to use bananas. Now you see the brown on the banana, it's a frozen banana, okay? So the brown on the banana, the more brown it is, the sweeter it's going to be. So I let it sit out for a little bit so that it's easy to cut. I don't like that sound. Not even like, you know, when you're watching Chopped or anything on the Food Network, for crying out loud. I just don't like that sound. So, all right, so we're going to put it in my little chopper here. I'll bring my chopper so that you can actually see it. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way, shall we? There we go. So here's my chopper. Can you see? All right. And then we're going to put in some bananas. And then we're going to add some milk. So that was about 1 banana, right? And then we're going to add some milk. I'd say maybe less than a 1/4 cup of milk. And then we're going to turn on. Here we go. Ready? Whip it up. How quick was that, right? Now that we have mashed up the bananas, I like these little spices from Penzeys. Please don't look at that. I'm such a messy cook. Y'all already know that. So I like these spices from Penzeys. I don't even know where to get it. I just know you can get it online. I don't know if there's an actual store. I hear that there is, but I'm not sure. But this is vanilla extract. And then I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon in there too. So the vanilla extract was probably maybe about 1.5 capfuls. And then we'll do some sprinkles. Oops. Oh, that's a little more than I bargained for. But hey, let's see how that turns out. So then, remember I told you God's candy. So these are frozen raspberries. And we'll just add maybe about, I don't know. That looks like it's good. That's probably maybe about 2 to 3 tablespoons of raspberries. And then we're going to put it on chop. Now, I don't like to chop it up too much. I still like to have some, you know, little crunch in there. I like to make it feel like it's gourmet. So let's taste that. Whoop, if I can get it on here. Here we go. Let's taste it. That's good. It's good. It's naturally sweet. You give your kids this, they're going to be like, oh, wow, what is that? It's deliciousness. You can even put this, like you blend it up, you can put it in little popsicle containers and make popsicles out of it. Stick them in the fridge, stick them in the freezer and make popsicles out of these. Absolutely delicious. If you wanted to, you could blend them up separately, put a banana, layer it, banana, raspberry, and they think that they've got something that is just gourmet. So hold on, I just have to have another. Because when I cut this off, I'm probably gonna eat this whole thing. All right, so I really hope that you enjoyed this, that I hope that I enlightened you on some things, and prayerfully, you might even take the challenge and just try to go sugar-free for 4 weeks. Sugar-free for 4 weeks. Take into account that those first 3 days are going to be rough, okay? So get an accountability partner. Do this with someone so that you will not fall flat and say, I can't do this. Somebody will there to pick you up and say, you can do this. Natural sugars are amazing. Once you go sugar-free for 4 weeks, your taste buds will change. You will realize the foods that you used to eat don't taste as good anymore. Now, I'm not gonna lie, New York cheesecake still tastes good to me. I don't care. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.